Okay, we are live, everybody. Welcome to the Obsidian Blade Live, the medicine hour, power hour together in unity and in love. Just doing my little intro here, leading with this top news story. I encourage you to be exactly who you are, to love yourself to no end as we transition between the fifth sun and the sixth sun, age of Aquarius, or age of Pisces to age of Aquarius. Loving yourself and loving the unique ray of light that you are bringing is essential. And that can be a challenge, right? We can be, hey, Martina, it can be a challenge to be who we are because the dominant paradigm that we're leaving is the pyramid paradigm of the Piscean age, where there are people on top and then there are people below the people on top to make it happen. And so it's really tempting. It's a challenge to lose your way, to think that you've got to fit in order to bring about the change that we're seeking. But if you fit in, how is that change, right? You see the paradox there? Getting along with people is one thing, but being the same as has nothing to do with equality. And that is the landscape that we're asking for and that we're headed into right now. Of course, it's the basics, the equality between the sexes or the sexual energies of masculine and feminine, but equality with existence. But we must remember, especially when it comes to between, in relationships, equality does not mean same. Equality means different and equal at the same time. I don't want to say different but equal. Different and equal is equality, not same, because then that's like pasteurized humanity. It's safe. And again, if we want to be the shift, fitting in and gaining approval from what is, it's not going to get us far. It's not going to get us far. So, welcome. We're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into being who you really are. And I also have in this episode a couple of clips from the astrologer David Palmer, Leo King. What I love that I'm going to be doing with this show, and we're going to experience it today, is that I'm going to be bringing in media from other thought leaders that I appreciate what they're doing, and I want to riff off what they're saying, because what's important, though I don't want us to be homogenized in what we're thinking, we are also looking for the group clues, right? The signifiers that we're collectively on the path and that we're collectively receiving the same messages, but we're handling those messages in our individual unique way as they contribute back to the collective. So you hear me say this phrase a lot, infinite diversity and infinite forms, which is actually utilized by Star Trek. It's like the Vulcan creed for life or something like that. But infinite diversity and infinite forms is necessary because what are we? We are life. Where are we? We're in life. And what does life do? It acts in a diverse manner, but in a cohesive, interdependent synergy of support and existence. So we're going to dive into a few of these clips of David Lawrence Palmer, Leo King, as well as how it inspires me to contribute to what he's saying. And I'm a big fan of him and a few other astrologers. So I love bringing in astrology into these live shows because, again, it's these signifiers of where we're at. And intuitively, I feel very connected to what he's saying. But yeah, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell here on YouTube to be notified of when I go live, which of course is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if I can get my nifty graphic up, this is also a podcast available on Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher. And if this shift thing wasn't so damn busy, I'd hurry up and get all these new episodes up. So any episodes that I do live here on YouTube, I'm going to be cleaning up, and they are being posted to iTunes soon, as well as other content that I have up there that you will not find on this live, but you will also find very enjoyable. If you're new to this channel, welcome. This is the Obsidian Blade Medicine Hour. As I already just said, it's a podcast. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram and all those nifty places where people interact. And it's really interesting because part of that topic of social media, again, if we're being the change that we're seeking, we're going to have to question deeply what's going on with social media and the way it is engineered to manipulate us. It also gives us what we want on demand, and that's a very interesting thing. Like I had an experience this morning on my phone. I noticed that the YouTube app is actually serving me up different videos depending on what time of day it is. So it knows my watching habits, meaning I search around 6 a.m. in the morning for workout videos, like high intensity interval training working out videos. And I noticed that my feed was full of those videos. But if I check back in now, it's going to be different videos. It's going to be like my lunchtime YouTube break videos. Interesting. So diving into the notes, loving exactly who you are in this time of the shift. Again, if we want to be change, or if we want change, being the same is not going to bring about that change. And it's interesting. We have to look out for what is promoted sometimes by people with really great intentions around fixing the government or fixing the system. But let me tell you, we are jumping between two systems: the fake system as engineered by the pyramid scheme and the real system of life. So there's nothing really to fix. That's the truth. There's nothing really to fix when we come back to life. It's when we're out of rhythm with life is when we cause damage to self, which means we cause damage to others, which means we cause damage to the environment. Environment and self are one and the same. Environment and other and you and other are one and the same. So what needs fixing is not the governmental systems or the things we've given up our authority to and placed in charge. We've got to let that shit go and get back into the authority of self, which means you being the author, the pens woman or the pensman of what you're writing in your own script of what you are capable of, right? And we are living in such an age where we can be inspired by so many people, but the temptation can be to not love ourselves and mimic those around us because we are looking for approval. We're still in this group species mindset where, we think our love is dependent upon the approval of others. Now, you magnify that by the thousands, because remember, in prehistoric times, aka the 20th century, before the internet, we were only seeking the approval of maybe around 10 people, right? But if you've got a social media channel, you can fall into the trap that you're seeking the approval of everyone who follows you, which could be tens of thousands of people. We could be lost in seeking the approval of literally millions of people, and that can drive you over the cliff. But again, we're here to be being the shift. We have to be the change that we're seeking. And so self-love is very important. And self-love extends into what's unique about you. What is inherently true about you? And to discover that and to highlight that and to develop that so that you are living it first to its highest capacity, as well as you learning some life skills so that you, if you want to, can share that flourishing aspect of yourself with the rest of the world. Hence the positive power of the internet, the positive power of social media, the positive power that we are now connected and unified by this communications system. But, I'm looking at my notes here. I wrote down, you don't change the world by making a better fixed version of the very matrix you are needing to escape from entirely. And yeah. There's nothing to fix, but there's everything to let go of right now. There's nothing to fix, but there's everything to deconstruct. And when you notice your personal energy has deconstructed the painful patterns in your life, you'll notice that you're no longer in a defensive mode, a survival-based mode, and you're entering the realm of liberation. And liberation could be seen as your ability to choose, the freedom of choice, rather than the slavery of patterns. That's the basics right there of liberation. And again, we're going to jump to these Leo King clips because I think they really kick off part of this conversation. We have to watch out for the old systems of control sneaking into our modern day spirituality. And we're finding lots of people that we enjoy on social media, but beware of your habit. And we all have this habit to think you need to change yourself in order to find approval with that person, rather than just being inspired by what they're sharing. And then taking that inspiration and seeing how you uniquely express what they've inspired in you. Because we've got to move away, and this is going to be one of the, there's many dominant themes that I continue to talk about here on the Obsidian Blade. I need to create a glossary. But, the basics of sacred geometry, or the geometry of the times in which we live, we're moving away from the pyramid and going back to the circle. The pyramid is a top-down structure where there's people on the top, the 1%, and then there's everybody below who has to support or is required to support that 1%. Whereas the circle is nice and even, smooth and buttery all the way around. So the circle is incredible because it's connected, it's one, and it requires everyone to be exactly who they are in order to hold their point on the circle in place. And when a person looks out across, they see their unique perspective. And they're adding that unique perspective to the collective whole. And that is where we're headed. Let me dive into this clip with Leo King. Two things about the Leo King. If you're not familiar with him, one, the audio on this clip is a little harsh, so I've kind of lowered it a little bit. And two, like me, he swears a lot. And so if you're not ready or ready, here we go. Let me jump to that clip.
Or it kind of reminds me of whenever they take like a orca, like a killer whale, like pour Shamu, and they like pull Shamu out of the fucking pool. And it's just like, that looks really comfortable right now. But they're putting it back into the ocean. So even though it's an uncomfortable rise to a new place, guess what? It's going to a better place. And I think that's what's hard, is we're all right now facing some really deep shit when it comes to, oh my God, like, The universe is asking me to raise to a higher place, and it's got a lot of difficulty, a lot of uncomfort, and I got to like step into myself and demand that I'm going to live a better life and actually show the universe, because the universe is just sitting there, God's just sitting there going, hey, let's see how you handle this one. Let's see if he or she will step up to the motherfucking plate. Literally. And so we can start to feel like, oh, has God got my back or whatever? Why is God putting me through this? God is putting you through this so you can step up. There's no better feeling than you stepping up on your own and fucking hitting a motherfucking home run. There's no better feeling than you stepping up and saying, no, I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. And the backside of that, you owning and seeing that you had the power. God is teaching you to find your power right now.
Yep, that's exactly it. Source or God or whatever you want to call it is asking you to find your power right now. And the key point is that we're in between two stations, right? We're in between the old world and the new world. And what's going on in your life? Tell me, share with me. Have you been challenged to be who you really are? That's coming up. In the face of everyone's demands, or in the face of what people expect of you, or in the face of, and this is the critical thing that we're going to be revolving around in this conversation, is in the face of what's expected of a spiritual person. And I am here to model for you that, this is a funny analogy. Even when you're in your pajamas at midnight farting in your bed, that's spiritual, because all of existence cannot be divorced from itself. Therefore, it is all one. And if it's all one, then it's all source. Hi, welcome home. We're here. So, so there's a couple of things in that clip that were really interesting when he was talking about Shamu being transported. And I think what we're doing, we're being transported from what we're used to in the old slave matrix or slave system back to the system of life. And that transition is awkward. That transition is like we're finding our strength again to be in what is more natural. And here's a funny question. Why does what is more natural, where we're headed to, feel intense or feel unfamiliar? And this is the work of us coming back online. And why it might feel stressful or unfamiliar is, of course, we're out of practice. Or we're addicted to the game. We're addicted to how the game is currently set up in our society of action and reward. Rats pressing levers in mazes to get pieces of cheese and then get higher social ranking. That's really tempting if you're used to that, right? If you need that level of approval. But this is so fine to talk about. Fuck approval. Go within. The more you go within, what did I write? I have this written down somewhere on here. Where did I put it in my notes? Yeah. I mean, just looking outside of yourself right now for approval is the craziest thing you could possibly do. Looking outside of yourself right now for approval is the craziest drug you could get yourself hooked on. Whew. Go within. So, he is Leo King, and I love what he's saying here is, step up via your own power of approval, your own skills, your own inspiration, your own alignment, and how all of those things are uniquely expressed through you. And the funny thing is, and this is the hilarious source joke that we're going to tell at the cosmic bar when we're on the other side of this, is that you and me, we were never not in power. There's a lot of that word empowerment going around right now, and like transcending and fixing things. And it's like, and the trap is that we're waiting for approval or waiting for power. And the hilarity is you've never not been in power. It takes power to make situations be existing. It takes your personal power and your enrollment and your free will to experience things, to go into things and again experience them. So who is the one choosing? And is the one who chooses, even though they may be asleep to their choices, aren't they in power? You may be asleep to a lot of your choices. That's called the subconscious or the shadow, but it's still you choosing. It may be an unconscious pattern that you can't quite see yet, but it's still you choosing. And therefore, there's no such thing as victims in the future, but participants. And we hope, the collective of I, we hope that you choose really good feeling things. We hope. You don't have to. There's no judgment from Source. Source is like, choose anything you want. And if the pain channel is your favorite subscription service, who am I to judge? But I guess I'm speaking on behalf of those who understand that though there is wisdom in pain, I think we're at the point right now where our fellow human beings and all the elementals and the animals and the ecosystems and Source is asking us to put down the pain addiction and get into power, not the addiction of power, but just power, being back in power and making choices of health, wealth, and happiness. And it's interesting, also in astrology that came up, and I love astrology. I love checking out astrology after I've done my meditations and how they line up. And one of the important things that we're understanding now, as crazy it seems, the times that we're in are very dark. The times that we're in right now are very dark. There's a lot you can trick yourself into getting hooked on in media. Hey, Martina. There's a lot of traps right now. And mass control media, notice what they do. They paint a picture where it's all dark. They are like the dark enforcers. Take this very seriously, what you pay attention to. They are the darkness enforcers right now. They are the distributors of the dark overlords in a way. And what does mass media do? Two things. It hooks people's emotions. And then the other thing about mass media, right? In physics, we talk about mass is momentum. When a mass of people are hooked on one idea, they fall, or that idea has gravity, and they fall in the direction of the intention of that plan to have people feel a certain way. So you got to ask, or you just got to know. Fuck asking, because we're just leaving this shit behind. Sorry, dark overlords. I kind of want to, actually I'm out of here. Not even participating anymore. There's nothing to fix. Like I was saying earlier, there's this temptation to be like, we got to fix everything. No, fuck everything. Do not look outside of yourself right now. Do not look outside of yourself for anything right now. The only thing you must do is align yourself to who you really are, love yourself, and express yourself, honoring the uniqueness that you are. There's nothing to fix except our addictions to unconscious patterns and exposing them. And then at the end of the day, when you've exposed your subconscious patterns, you realize all that a subconscious pattern is an application, a habitual application of your personal power. A power that means you're always in choice, a power that means you're always in power, and a power that means you can choose something different that feels more higher in vibration. So that's what we like to do for fun here at the Obsidian Blade. And what else I got in my notes? It's funny too because we're stuck in this old habit. Hold on, let me take a sip of caffeinated beverage. We can be stuck in languages. Language. That's a doozy. Languages. Oh my God. This is why I have to have a show 3 days a week. There's a lot to talk about, and I am glad you are here. We can say the word new. We're headed to somewhere new or new earth. And in reality, new earth, yes, it's going to be different and new because the frequencies of the sun are shifting, and that's why we call it the sixth sun, Istaktonotio, according to the Aztecs and the Toltecs. This, newness is really, when we get it back into it, it's not really new. It's what we really are. And what we really are has been happening the whole time. So New Earth, let's just call it like home. Let's go back to our natural habitat of life. I'm going to play a second clip of the Leo King because I can. And I want to. This one's a little longer. It's 5 minutes, but I love, again, what he's bringing through. And why I'm sharing clips of other people is because there is a collective energy coming through that we all each individually uniquely express. But I really feel what he's saying in this clip. So I want to play it for you now. And then we're going to discuss what he was saying.
It truly was about realizing that this is a new era, and it is going to require different approaches, different ways to live your life than we have been pre-programmed, whether it's been through the television sets we grew up with, the books that we read, the radio, no matter how old you are, the DNA that has been passed on from all these lineages of our life. There is a massive shift going on in a reality in front of us and approaching it differently from all angles of home and family to relationships to how you deal with your money and self-worth and how you do your businesses, how you deal with using tools like astrology and divination, and more important than that, truly understanding the deepest part of yourself and finding your own way and finding that your own light is your own light. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to say I'm at war, but I'm at war with just the spiritual dogma of the community. It has become vanilla. It has become, who's wearing the next cool yoga pants and, did you get your smoothie today? It's like, what's different than wearing a Sunday dress and picking up a Bible? I mean, when you start getting into dogma and you start getting into rituals, we're creating these rituals that are creating a whole thing of like what spirituality is, when spirituality has no boundaries, it has no borders, and it truly has zero definitions. And so it's hard because anybody who wants to become, whether you call it spiritual or open their soul up more or be involved with spirituality more, guess what? They have to go face this, oh, but look at how she's doing it, or look at how he's doing it. And it's like, you know what? Fuck them. Not like literally like because you hate them, but fuck their way of doing it. It's you and it's your light and it's your life and it's your soul and it's here to shine its own brightness in its own motherfucking way. And so this spiritual community is about to get some fucking wake-up calls. Because the truth is this ain't no Instagram post of looking all pretty and making it look a certain way because I look spiritual, but you're really a motherfucking dog, bitch, who doesn't even know how or even understand that spirituality has no borders, it has no looks. It is ultimate surrender of true self. Whatever that is. Whatever that is. It's important for people to realize that. And that's what I'm getting. This is way deeper than astrology. Astrology is a tool. Sure, I'm sure you watch me because you fucking love astrology. I fucking love astrology all day long. I can look at that shit 24/7. I look at that shit 24/7. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even look at it. I already know it in my head. It's a natural clock that I'm in rhythm with the planets, just like I'm sure most of you all are. But that's just one part of this. There is a deeper war going on right now. It is perception, it is spirituality, and the dark forces trying to make spirituality and turn it into a certain form that will make people have to be a certain way, that will always, and I'm going to repeat this very strong, that will always find a way to make it try and be like something else than you really are, and try and change you a little bit to be a certain way, because when the dark does that, it knows it takes a little bit of your own light away. The second you look at a spiritual person and go, I need to be a little bit more like that motherfucker, you have just given up your motherfucking light. How do you think the dark is doing it? They are putting themselves and cloaking themselves as fucking spiritual. It's not real. It's fucking Oz bullshit. Straight up, Oz bullshit. Don't fall for that shit. You know when someone's being fucking real. You know why? Because when somebody's fucking real, they're telling you how it is, and they fucking encourage you to go be you. You go be you. You go be the best. Sure, you can give advice. Hey, I think maybe it'd be better if you do this or whatever, but I ain't going to judge you if you don't go my way. I ain't going to get all weird at you that you do that. Oh, you didn't have a green juice this morning and you didn't meditate this morning? Oh my gosh. Oh my God, you're having a relationship problem? It's just the deep reflections of yourself. You're fucked up. You have to deal with your own inner shit first and blah, blah. You know what? It's called motherfucking life. It's called life. There is no perfect person. There is no perfect soul. There is no, I am fully enlightened person out there. I am sorry. You want to know what the Antichrist is? The Antichrist is the most fake motherfucker on the planet.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. So, transaction out of that. Okay. So, yes. Huge Leo King. Love his work. I'm going to put a link to this video that I'm referencing in this live. Lots of points he just went over, and it's been something that's been on the tip of my tongue for years now. And I say it with there's like a grain of salt in it, right? Like, we've seen things become very popular, and it's good that they've become popular. Like, yoga has become popular, but through its popularization process, what's happened? People don't even know what yoga fucking is. Okay, one, it's from India, and two, the whole point of yoga, it's part of a wheel of a system that's ultimate aim is actually to condition you so you can actually meditate for hours upon end and then attain your enlightenment and then drop all that shit altogether. Side note, but you can see what's happened. You know, we've created, super real as fuck. I love that guy. You can see what we've done. We've created another form of the patriarchy as a spiritual storefront. A lot of what we see in modern spirituality is just another form of the patriarchy. It's true. And I think there's a lot of people waking up to this going, actually, what does it look like? And I love this topic. Hopefully I can bring my friend Xiao Yan on this, on a live. You know, she's been doing a lot of research into this, and there's a movement that you can, discover through various hashtags, because that's how we talk now, around decolonizing spirituality. I think we also need to talk about depatriarchyizing spirituality as well. Those two topics are very important because, again, when you're in your pajamas farting in your bed at midnight, that too is also spiritual, but you don't seem to see a lot of millions of dollars being funded for your farts right now. So, what's this thing that we're doing? It's called capitalism. And spirituality has been co opted into capitalism really nicely. Now, I'm not saying people shouldn't get paid for the services they render because that's a value exchange, absolutely. But when we see who's in and who's out, and these magazines and these who's determining who's in the magazines? And, that's what we're here to disrupt. And thankfully, things like YouTube and Instagram can be forces of disruption from the over colonization and subjugation of spirituality. And, what he's getting into, Mr. Leo King, look, your light is your own light. And he said a really cool point there. Like, if you start to modify your unique expression to win approval or to fit in to the patriarchy's version of spirituality, then you're getting twisted. You have a contract with Source. You came here to be who you are. You came here to be who you are, and may we figure out a way for us to honor and celebrate who you are rather than saying who you are doesn't work and it has to be changed. That's where a lot of pain has happened, and we all did this. I brought this up in the other episode. We all did this as a child, right? Because we're mimicking through our mirror neurons and our capacity for empathy, and our need for love and survival. We're mimicking everybody around us to fit in order to get nourishment of touch. But look how bad that system is broken. The nourishment of touch is twisted. Oh, what a lot of pain going on there from our parents to our sexual partners. It's got to get healed. And we all have fallen into that trap of like, I've got to be someone else because who I wasn't good enough to get nourishment of touch. And hence you have the downfall and the slavery system that we have right now. So be who you are, because trust me, being who you are is going to get you more touching than you ever possibly could ask for. Consensual touching, that is. Pleasurable, consensual touching, please. But I love what he's saying. Spirituality is becoming fucking vanilla. It's becoming vanilla as fuck. And we don't need more vanilla. Spirituality, mainstream spirituality is already vanilla enough if you think of it about like dominated by white people. Did you know I'm white? But I also understand that we need to show the full wheel of humanity because we are nothing without the full wheel of humanity. But it's become vanilla and safe. And why should we be playing it safe? Because safe means that you are going to get yours. You're going to get loved. As long as you're in the approval rating system of the Matrix, you're going to get yours. It is not serving anybody to be fake right now. Welcome to the Obsidian Blade, where we cut that shit out so that you can be clean and cleansed of your old ways, so that you can rediscover what you really are and where you are and what you are. So yes, this is going way beyond commercialism. And again, I love, he brought up in the video, again, I'll put the link to his video, there's a war on perception going on, and we have to watch out. We have to be extra diligent about that war of perception, when it comes to spiritualized Instagram and spiritualized YouTube and spiritualized media, is that, war on our perception keeping us in the realm of seeking approval? Because it's just another, at the end of the day, it's really, whew. Again, I said at the beginning, and this is a real key point, we are coming back online. Where is online? It's not the internet. Online in the real spiritual, physical, manifested sense is online with life. We are coming back online to life. We are coming back to life. We are escaping the deconstruction of the land of the dead. And I can go into detail about what that means at some other point. We are escaping the deconstruction and destruction of the land of the dead. And through that process, we are walking away from the land of the dead to come back online to life itself. Yes. So don't get angry about it. Just get unhooked. Don't get distracted from approval from people who are existing in the land of the dead. You can see how dangerous that is. You get me? You feel me? Ask me questions if you don't get it. You can fuck yourself over looking for approval from people who are hooked into the approval rating system of the land of the dead. The land of the dead must be walked away from right now. We take our lessons, we take our wisdom with us, but we are walking back into the landscape of life. We are walking back into the landscape of life. The balanced energies of equality with existence and within ourself. So, look out for this pasteurized sameness dialogue that's going on. And look out for when you're tempted. I think to his point, Leo King's point, is look out for when you are tempted, when you see somebody in social media with a lot of numbers and going like, well, and you want to express yourself. Look out if you think you need to express yourself the same way in order to be heard. You've got to first listen to yourself and trust yourself and know that your own unique light, it's two things. It's exactly what you came here to shine, and it is full. It is complete. It is special. It's a treat. It's the treasure. Do not corrupt your treasure. Bring it. And if only one person gets it, that's fine, because you're in the pleasurable vibration of your treasure. So, I'm going to wrap it up by saying this. We are magic, and magic is coming back online. And we have to trust that this magic that's coming back online is not going to be really weird esoteric stuff, but I'm here to show you how magic, when we come back into life, life is magical. Life is every day, and every day is life, and life is magic. So every day is going to be magic as we excuse ourselves from the table of distractions. As that table is like, I got a cool scene in my mind. As that table is rotting and decomposing, and the food is spoiling, and the silverware and the fine china is like cracking and crumbling and breaking, and you try and take a drink, and the cup falls away from your hands. That is the West. That is the direction of the land of the dead. I brought up the circle of life the other day, the directions. The direction of the land of death is the West. That's where things go to die. Funny that we're here in the United States, which is also considered culturally the West. That's probably because Europeans came from the East and they traveled west, so we live in the West. But modern culture is typically called the West, as it separates itself from Asia. But funny too, in the natural scheme of indigenous wisdom, global indigenous wisdom, West is the land or the direction of death. West is also in the time zones of the year, autumn, when the leaves fall from the trees and die. So as we're pursuing magic, the magic of life, part of the theme is it's we, not me. And so I am so grateful to spend 3 days a week with you live. Please bring your questions. I will answer them, because this again is about we, not me. I bring up the themes, but you bring the participation, and you can bring the themes too, and we can discuss and expose how what we're going through right now is really, really important. The next 3 years or so, next 4 years, this is it. If you've awoken, this is your time to really get online with life. Once again, this audio will be taken from the video. The YouTube video is going to live on forever, but I'm going to take the audio, clean it up, and put it on the podcast, which is available again on Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher. And yeah, it is so good to be with you. Let me play the theme music again. I wonder if it comes online. I'm curious if I got my theme music on. Oh, I don't think it's working. Anyway, I love you so much. And it has been another beautiful power hour here with you on the Obsidian Blade Live Medicine Hour every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. No, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have struggled with loving yourself, or have struggled with thinking you need to be someone else other than who you are, let me know about it in the comments below. And I am so glad to be here with you in this great age of the shift. And thanks so much for everyone who is here live and on the replay. And I'll catch you again on Friday. Much love.